Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being on our program. I'm Armando F. Sanchez. It's always a thrill to bring in major leaders in our community into the program. And they come to us because they have something fantastic to share, something insightful, something that moves the soul, moves the mind, moves our life. Dr. Zulmara Maria is one of those persons. I've known her for her background in education, very deep. I mean, we read her bio, we'll be here all day. But she's also a writer. But one of the great things that she's done since her prior to her retirement to the present is the idea of bringing this together with the idea of discovering our divine self. I mean, I take a pause on purpose, divine self. The whole idea of sacred space for individuals to discover and reclaim the divine within. It's a very powerful statement, and one that I find that she keeps reminding me every single day with her abrazos posting that I get every morning. I don't know what time in the morning you get up. I know I don't before you, because when I open my internet, you're already there. That's wonderful. So, Zulmara, thank you for being on our program, and I look forward to learning more about what you mean about the divine self.
Good morning. Buenos dias. Armando, it's great to be here. Yes, we have known each other for a long time. We're both educators, and I find that to be such an important part of who we are and what we do. And when I started Abrazos years ago, it was that little voice in your head that tells you you're a good person, that you're good, that gives you a pick-me-up during the day. And I started it as part of my roots and wings when I started my business. And one of the things I decided to do was put out a daily abrazo, a little hug at the beginning of the day or at the end of the day. Some people read them at the end, some people read them at the beginning, but it's a little hug from your divine self, that voice within that's telling you everything is okay. Have a good day, smile, make somebody else feel good, spread kindness, and reclaiming that divinity within, understanding that within each of us, there's a divine self. Within each of us, there's that place that is pure light and pure goodness. That's where we send out healing for other people. That's when our thoughts and prayers make a difference. When we say, we're sending you thoughts and prayers, or thoughts and prayers for you and yours, it's not coming from nowhere. It comes from that divine within you that can actually heal and can actually make somebody feel better. And at this time right now, when we're going through COVID, and I'm encouraging people to get in touch with that divine space, mass prayers, mass meditation, all of those things make such a big difference. Our collective voices make a big difference, because when we're in that space of praying, of listening to the divine within, of tapping into our divine selves, then we become very, very powerful beings. So the daily abrazos I started years ago, and I encourage everybody to either get on my Facebook page or to subscribe to them, and it'll come in your email early in the morning, and you basically can wake up and you open it up and it puts a smile on your face. Or before you go to bed, you read an abrazo and you put a smile on your face. And sometimes I tell people who are really going through a difficult time, in your emails, just put them all in a folder. And when you're waiting for somebody and you find yourself getting irritated, open up your abrazos folder and just start reading them. And you'll find that your mood changes. And when that person comes to you who's been late or making you wait, instead of greeting them with you greet them with your divine self. You greet them with that feeling of, hi, how are you? And you don't even worry about the lateness. And that interaction reaction then comes from a different space. So for me, it's tapping into that place within you that is pure light and pure goodness.
Let me, as I've been listening, a question comes to mind. Are we born with this divine power in us, and we sort of learn to lose it with life, with our choices to see negativity? Or is it something that we have to discover?
I I think it's an and both. So I think we're born with it, which is why kids always bring us such pleasure, because we are interacting with their divine selves. We're interacting with their souls. And it's really hard to be around a baby that's cooing and smiling and giggling and not find yourself getting drawn into cooing and smiling and giggling with them. And you'll notice, especially among women, but you notice it with men as well, especially men who have been fathers, your voice changes when you're talking to a baby. You get a little bit slower, you get a little bit softer, a little bit higher, because you're trying to connect. And again, that's a soul connection. So yeah, I think we're born with it. And I think that we cultivate it, right? So you meet people who have cultivated it more than others. And then I do think that life experiences can cause you to lose your connection with your divine self, and you have to then find your way back. So a lot of people will talk about prayer, meditation, rosary beads, mala beads. I use mala beads a lot in my practice. My aunt, who is 92 years old, and she's in great health, and she will eat a half-gallon of ice cream in one sitting, and she doesn't get sick, and she never, and people say, what do you attribute your aunt's health to? And I'm like, you know what, she does the rosary every night, and when she's really stressed, she'll pray it twice, because there's something about stress and getting rid of the stress in your body that makes a difference. And for some people, saying the rosary is one of those things. It keeps your hands busy, it gets your mind busy, and it helps you to relax. And what it does for you is it helps you connect to your inner divine self. I use mala beads, and I do that every Friday night. So I'm doing bonding circles right now, and every Friday night I come on, and on Facebook Live, I'm doing mala beads, and mala beads are 108 beads strung together, and I'm doing the Ho'oponopono prayer on them. So we say it 108 times, and it's a way to help you just relax and connect with the inner you, and let all the stresses of the week just melt away and get you ready to start your Saturday from that divine space. So there are a lot of different ways to connect and or cultivate that divine space. Meditation, prayer are two of the ways that we use on a regular basis. Chanting works for a lot of people as well.
Before I ask the next question, you mentioned that you are available or you can be found on Facebook, etc. Could you give us
Yes.
those links, please?
Yes. So my website is zulmaramaria.com, and it's ZULMARAMARIA.com. And on zulmaramaria.com, you'll find a way to subscribe to the abrazos. You will also find my Facebook page, but I'm Zulmara Maria on Facebook. And I'm also Zulmara Maria on Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter. So
Being
you'll find
that
me on all of those, yes.
being that I just came back from Brazil, so you have it also in Portuguese?
No, I don't have it in Portuguese, but I do have if you go to my Amazon site, I do have a lot of books on Amazon. And if you go on my Amazon site, you will find a series of these abrazos that have been translated into Spanish. So I work with a really wonderful person who helps me do the translations. And so the abrazos, the gratitude abrazos, the ones that focus specifically on gratitude, have been translated. And I think there's 4 different books up now. They're called brevarios. Brevario 1, 2, 3, y 4 are up on Amazon right now in Spanish.
The whole idea of stress, I'd like to go back to a little bit of that. We could consider this as a very stressful time.
Yes.
Okay, because of the virus and the news and the inundation 24/7 of the news.
Yes.
Is this stressful because we make it stressful, or is it intentional, or is it like do we have no defense against all the stress that we're acquiring?
I think it's a combination of things. I don't know if we consciously make it stressful. I think it's a stressful situation. If you are in a high risk category, or you have family members who are in a high risk category, the death rates are pretty alarming. Even for individuals who get on ventilators, they're looking at 80%, 60% if you go on a ventilator, never come off. So I think that that is a really stressful situation. And I think the economic stress is huge. A lot of people don't know where their next paycheck is coming from. um, a lot of people who relied on people paying rent in order for them to pay their bills. There's just so much of a systemic effect, right? We depend on this and depends on this, depends on this. And when you break that economic chain, then you have a lot of the vulnerable people in our society who are going to fall through it. And then a lot of people who built their safety net, their economic safety nets on different things are finding that those safety nets are getting washed away. And they'll tell you, you know, you should be able to support yourself for 6 months with your savings. And a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I've got like 3 months of savings or 2 months, or I'm going through this a lot faster than I thought I was going to go through my savings. So I think those are real stressors. And I think that what we need to be able to do is, and this is why I say I try to hold a space, is find a way to not be so stressed out, because those stressors will only make things worse. And your immune system is so dependent on your stress level. And your immune system is what you need right now in order to be able to be healthy enough to fight the virus. So it's not a matter of the medical system will be able to cure you. It's a, can you cure yourself if you get exposed? And I keep telling people the way you're able to cure yourself is by having a strong immune system. And part of having, and right, it's all systemic, it's all part of the circle of life. Part of having a strong immune system is not allowing yourself to give into stress. So when you give into stress, because we will all do that, what are your ways of getting yourself out of that stress? What are you doing for your own self-care? So about 2 weeks ago, I put up 100 different self-care tips on my Facebook page. And I was just doing 6 a day. And it was self-care tip number 1, number 2, number 3, different things that you could do to just take care of yourself. And I keep stressing to people, you take care of yourself first, then you take care of your family, then you take care of your community, and then you take care of Pachamama, then you take care of our earth. But it has to be in that order. So you have to take care of self. And those self-care tips are a lot of different things you can do to reduce your stress level so that you can be present for yourself and for your family.
I mean, I'm learning so much from you, as I always do. But how do I know, as an individual, how do I know that stress is beginning to overwhelm me?
You know, you have a lot of different indicators. One of them is you're not getting a good night's sleep. Your sleep is restless. And another one is you find yourself falling asleep at odd times. That's a reaction to stress. Like all of a sudden you're having a hard time staying awake, or you're not getting a good night's sleep. You're fretting a lot. You spend a lot of time going back and forth to the refrigerator, stress eating. You are looking for comfort foods all day long. You eat, but you never feel satisfied. Those are some of the manifestations of stress. And then there's the irritability. The little things will get to you, like you can't find the remote, and all of a sudden it becomes one of those things where I can't find the remote and I'm mad and I'm angry and I'm yelling at people. Or you find that there's too many people in the house. There might just be 4 or 5 of you, but because you can't leave, everybody is irritating you, or you're getting easily aggravated by everything. Or sometimes you just get very jumpy, like somebody will walk into a room and you'll jump because your mind is stimming someplace else, and you're not paying attention to your surroundings. For some people who are quarantining by themselves, their signs of stress are not getting up in the morning, not getting dressed, not brushing your teeth, not getting yourself ready for the day, feeling like it's no use, no one's going to see me anyway. I might as well stay in my pajamas all day and I don't need to brush my hair. But those are all the little different signs that you are feeling stressed out and you need to take care of yourself. I tell people it's important to have a routine, to stick to your routine, get up every morning, take a shower, get dressed, and get ready to greet the day. Even if it's saying hello to somebody on Zoom where you're going to have to turn on a camera, so you can't stay in your pajamas all day. But find those kinds of routines. Yes, find those kinds of routines so that you can actually feel good about yourself. And you'll be surprised at how good it feels to get up and get dressed and not stay in bed all day long. But those are all signs of stress. And sometimes if you're prone to depression, they'll be moving toward depression, where we're finding that it's important to check on people. It's important to call them up and do physical phone calls, because we've gotten so used to the texting, but someone can text to you, but it's important to hear their voice and make sure they sound okay. I have a couple of friends who make no less than 10 phone calls a day because they're checking in on individuals that they know need to be checked in on. I check in on about 4 or 5 different family members on a regular basis. My sister and I are tag teaming, and we check in on these family members that we know are prone to, um, they're alone, and they're prone to be able to just, check out too quickly and too easily. So I think those are some of the signs of stress that I look for, and I I'm aware of, so I try to help people with.
I want to go back and once again ask you for contact information that you have for your books. People can go on your website, because I see those those items that you mentioned. I see it in different people, at different levels.
Yes,
So your book is one of those areas, and getting your affirmations over the internet, etc., is
yes.
now, I can clearly see how that can be a very positive way to be proactive toward the stress issues. What's your contact information where people can find your information,
So
please?
they can find me on my website at zumaramaria.com, and I'm on Facebook a lot, and I'm Zumara Maria on Facebook. Every night at 7:30 I do a Facebook live, and I have a regular schedule. So we do meditations, we do prayers, I do card pulls. So if you're finding that you need to find a community and you want to just be in prayer or be in meditation, send out good vibes to the earth, send out good vibes to your friends. I'm holding a sacred space for that every night at 7:30. So if you come on, and if you can't come on at 7:30, if you go to my Facebook page, you'll find the link and you can then listen to it. I do a prayer every Friday night, and I've had people who tell me that they listen to that before falling asleep because it helps them unwind from the day. And those are really important things. Just finding a place, finding your tribe, finding a group of people that you can connect with and bond with, not just during this time, but even when we are going back to our new normal, whatever that's going to be, having some people that you can connect with and you feel safe with, and you can say, today was a tough day, and it's okay that you had a hard day, and tomorrow is a new day, and we'll be ready for it again. And together we'll get through all of this, and together we are much stronger.
In my final question, because we're running out of time, unfortunately, one of my favorite sentences that you use, that I always sort of go back to constantly, beyond all the other wonderful information you share. What do you mean when you say little voice in your head?
Right, that's with each one of the abrazos, right? And it's from your divine self, that little voice in your head. And to me, that is that divine part in you, and that little voice in your head that's telling you you're a good person, you're enough, you make a difference. If you watched It's a Wonderful Life, he had that angel that came to him and said, your life makes a difference in the lives of others. We all have that inside of us. It doesn't have to be an angel that comes and sits on your shoulder, but it's within you, and it's divine within you. And there's that little voice that's always going to tell you you're good. What you do makes a difference. You are enough. And that's what those abrazos are. It's a way to give yourself a little self hug, and just a reminder that, you know what, that little voice in your head, that positive one, sometimes it gets drowned out by all the negativity. But if you listen to it, it's there. And every day you should connect with that little divine self within you, that little voice that says, you know, you're a good person and you make a difference in the lives of others. So you are very important.
I need to ask you again. I want to make sure, absolutely sure, that our guests have access to this wonderful information you have. Could you please, once again, before we do closing statements, share your contact information?
Yes, so you can contact me at my website, which is zulmaramaria.com, ZULMARAMARIA.com. And from there, you'll find my links to all my other pages, but they're all Zulmara Maria as well.
Okay. Your closing
Thank you, Greg.
statements. I just don't know how we're going to do all this wonderful information in a closure, but I'm sure you're going to go.
Yes. So I just want to thank all of you. And I want to tell you that being in gratitude is probably the most important thing you can do to connect with others, to help others, and to help yourself. And it's really important during this time, but also as we're coming out of this time, because we will. There's always a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. We will. To remember to take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your community, and then we take care of Pachamama, take care of our Mother Earth. Thank you, Armando. It's been great having an opportunity to talk to you today.
Same here. I always look forward to receiving your abrazos on a daily basis. Continue that forever, please.
Oh,
And
I
I do
will.
read
Thank
them.
you.
I do read them. I do collect them, and I go back to them and I read them. I thought,
Yes,
oh, okay.
thank you.
Sometimes you make me think a lot. I says, what did that mean? So, but that's a good thing. We want people to reflect on what you're saying. It's
Yes,
not always just simple. But
right.
what I really enjoy is that you're talking about health, both mentally, personally, and bringing health to our community. Because if we're
Yeah.
sick, we're going to share that. If we're mentally sick, we're going to share that.
Yes,
What I'm
yes.
saying from you, from what I'm hearing from you, is cure yourself, retain yourself, and then you can help others.
Yes, and you really do make a difference on helping others. And if you stay strong, then you can be there for others and you can help them as well.
Zulmara, thank you. And you do make a
Thank
difference,
you.
Zulmara.
Yes.
Adios.
Adios. Gracias. Namaste.